Hello everyone, in our today's video we're gonna create a to-do application. Now here it will be our finished product. You can see we have an to-do input place, and also we have categories personal, business and others, and then we have the button where we will add to-do, and here it will be our list. Now without putting anything inside the input field, if you add to-do, you see there is an error message pop up, and then after several seconds it's going off, right? And this one is not coming from React Toastifier or React Hot Toast. We are going to make it manually. Now if like I type I have to work and add to-dos, now I need to select the categories. Select is as personal. After adding to-do, you see the to-do added successfully. I can see the to-do here, and now my category portion is available. Now as you may see, maybe it's not required, but I will add several to-dos, so I can search it besides in category field. Now see, that to-do belongs to a personal to-do. I can see it in the business, no to-do, and in the others to-do list is empty. So in that way we can really search all the to-dos. This is another to-do, and by default if you click a category, every time it will be same. It will not clear the field. Like you want to add several to-dos in the same categories, you can add it. Now you can see it's in personal. That's working also, and that to-do we are storing it from our Redux-Toolkit. You can see to-do is here, and also we are managing it to store in real time. Even you refresh, the to-do is still available with us. Okay, so now let's add some more to-dos, and now if you select the categories, it will give you a pop-up. Select the category. By default it will ignore the word categories because it's the title, so you need to put any category from here, and you need to add the to-do. Now you can delete the to-do from here, it will go from here, or either you can delete it from here, it will go from here also. But what if you want to remove all the to-dos together, right? You can click here, but initially it will give you a pop-up. Are you sure to remove all the to-dos? You can easily close it by saying no, or if you really want, you can just click yes, and all the to-dos will be gone. Now here we have also little bit a footer part here, just for design purpose. Now let's create to make it. As you may know, I already set up our today's application. You can see I have a just simple branch of file. I just clear it, I add the app.js, and now indexed, I already prefer to use the Tailwind CSS, so that is our Tailwind config, and you need to initialize the Tailwind CSS. If you don't know how to do it, you can find any of the video maybe in the same line, then you can do it. I will also keep that link in the description below. And now we have also our index file, and little bit I put the body color, I define the body font, title font, and also I give a box shadow which will be to-do shadow. Okay, now when I was spinning, you see our to-do application is running here. So now let's start building that interfaces first, then we're gonna create all other things. Okay, so one by one. First of all, let's create that field, and to create that, first in that app, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna give us some bunch of class name for our for our app. I give a with the full min height of a screen, and from the padding top portion it will be 4. I will just remove it right now, it's not required right now. And now I use a background which will be a gradient color. It from the top it will start from the sky 600. Now from the bottom it will start from 600 to in the middle it will be 400, and then in the top level it will be 300. After saving it, you will see here. Now you see our background is working. Now it's time to add that input field. Okay, Now to add that input field, let's create one input component. You can add it here, but it's better to put in the component module. So let's add components, and now here what I will do, I will put input from .js refc. Now our from is ready. Now in here I will just import it. Now as you can see, you see that input from is available here. Now for that input from, let's also start working with it. I'm gonna give a class name. I'll give it with a full, and bg will be body color. If I save it, you can see it's taking the full width, but it will not be taking the full width because as you may see, there is a restricted width is over here. So what I'm gonna do, in the app, this input from, I'm gonna take inside a div and then paste it. Now here, because it's taking the width from the parent component, so I'll give a class name of like let's give a width of I think it will be 850 pixel, and also just also I'll give a body color just to be sure, and from the padding I'll give a 10 of padding. Now here you see that is already looks good. Now we need to keep that in the middle. Remember, that is coming inside of that div. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make the div as a flex. I will make flex from the, or no need to column, I will just make justify center and item center, and it will keep the div in the center. So now it's time to add our input field and all other fields. So let's go to our input from. Inside that from, let's put that input, and for that input also you will we need to give a placeholder where we will mention that enter you to do, and also for that one we will give some bunch of class name. Now I predefined the class name beforehand just to go quickly. You can go through each and every class name and understand why I'm putting there. I give a width of 80% because it will take 80% of width that parent div, and the body color, and I give a border and border gray. So let's go back here and you can see, yes, whenever also in focus visible I give a color of the orange, so you can see it's active, and otherwise it will be, even when you hover it will be a little bit a white color. Remove the hover, it will be gray shadow color, and then when you click it will be like orange 600, just a bit of coloring. Now that input field, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put inside a div, because now I need to create that select from where we will drag and select the data. And to do that, I'm gonna take a div, and inside that div I will add a select, and inside that select I will add an option like pages to do, just to see, and you can see that to do is here. Now what we're gonna do for that select, I'll just going to grab some class name and let's give it here, and you will see, but it's getting full width and full height because we didn't make it in a flex, right? Class name flex, and we'll make it items in center, and we'll be give a gap of 4. When you save it, you see this gapping is coming here. Now what we're gonna do in that div, we will manage a height of 12. Now see, that is taking the height, but here it's not taking the height. So what we're gonna do, we'll also give a bunch of class name here. It will be width of 20%, width it will take, and then height will be full, and it will be relative because we will make something which will be absolute later on, just to keep it down here. So now you see select is taking width of full, height of full, so we mentioned the width and height here, and it will grab it from the parent. Now you see, when you active, you see that. Now this one we need to create the same with this one. for that one, I'm gonna grab an array which will be an options of array. So let's come over in the top. Sorry, I think it's not copied properly. So let's grab it here. Now what I'm going here, I'm giving some options with an ID and title, which will be categories personal, that will be the first one, and that then business and others. Now without keeping that one, what we can do, we'll just simply mapping through our options array. So what we'll do, options.map, we will just pass an item and we will return option, and inside that option, what are we gonna return? We will return that item.title. Now if we go over here, as you see, we have already that things. Okay, so that is ready and it looks perfect. And also we need an icon. Remember, there is an icon, and for that we will use the React icons. I love to use it. It's very simple to use actually. Let's copy that, and in our other terminal install that one, and for that one we can search any icon like down. So you can search whatever icon you like to just put it there. For time being, for my build, for our today's this project, I would love to use that one, first chevron down. So that one, actually remember what I keep before, I keep that div as relative, because what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put a span tag in down of div. I'll keep a span tag, and inside that span tag I'm gonna keep that one. Now when I'm keeping that, as you may go there and you see it's going somewhere, it will be down. Because of that reason, I will make it as absolute, and then I'm gonna give a gapping from there. So let's go in span. I'm adding an absolute. From right it will be 3, from top it will be 4. If you are not understanding this kind of things like Tailwind CSS guideline, you can just go to simply in the Tailwind CSS and you can find everything over here. And also you can watch some of my previous build video, you can find the answer for it. I don't want to waste much more time just to explaining in every video, so you can find it in any other video and can just get back to it. Okay, now as you see, that looks better. Okay, and now also I want you to show you some problem. If you just come in the console, what is showing, each child in a list should have a unique key. Remember, we use an array here in option map, and also we keep an ID over here. So what we're gonna do, we will give a key, and that key will be item.id. And when we just give that, go to the localhost, and when you save it, that's just better. So after doing that, now we need to add a button. Okay, and to add a button, remember we have that div. Inside that div we keep all other things. So what I'm gonna do, after that div, this is our input, this is our, so after that input, I think I will just go below that one. Yeah, after that I'm gonna add a button which will be add to do. So let's save it, and you see it just down there. And for that button also, I'm gonna just create some bunch of class name. Let's dump it over here. I'm just giving weight full, the same way the border and also the hover text, and that the same fine class activities. You can just find it. Now see, it's working much fine. Now there is a gapping over there. That gapping we need to keep in the topper level. I think this everything inside of that div. So let's make it flex. It will become side by side. Let's flex call. Okay, now give a gap of 4, and you see that's the same way it's supposed to be, and it's working much better. So now we have our button. Now after the button, what we need to create is our to-do list. Okay, so here all the to-dos will stay, like if we type a to-do, because that one we will create later. Now we need to create that list. Okay, so the list item will be here, and to create that list, let's go down. You see, that is our div, and that is our button div. So after that button, like after the button, let's create another div, and inside that div, let's create an UL, and inside the UL we'll keep a list item. To do will go here. Let's save it and see what is giving. If we come over here, we get that div. So now for that div, our like we are getting that one from that div, but you remember, whenever we will create a to do, it will mount the component and create another new list. So that's why that list item will just take it to another components. Okay, just do it with me, it will make sense to you. RFC. And now here, what I'm gonna do, instead of div, I will take an li, and it will be to do item, and that to do list we're gonna import it here. To do list. So now if you save, the same thing will be appearing. Yeah, and now if you want to put 2, see, it will generate 2 items. For right now, better keep it 1. So what I'm gonna do, or we will just I think we'll just try 2, because we need to keep it flex and other things. So first of all, what I'm gonna do, and that div, I'm gonna give a bunch of class name, because I will make it flex, and you will understand it after whenever we are building it equally. So for that UL also, see, I'm putting in a grid pattern. So now you see, there is little bit bunch of separated is coming. You can just go through each and every single pattern, and you also can remember I give a shadow to the shadow I put, and that shadow is generating like that way. So now this colorful design, which is not happening here, is because we need to implement that one here inside our to-do list. So in our to-do list, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna also give some bunch of class name. Let's come over here, let's jump on and give some class name. I give it a width, full, medium, and just go through the class name, and you see, also we need to give a border color, which will be border greens. I think better keep 500. Let's see, it's giving. Now whenever you click on the to do, there is some color. You can see that you selected the to do. Even if you go any of the to do, you select, you can mark, you can unmark, like that one, mark, unmark. You can do that checklist type, right? So that one we will create. First we need to take our that icon, and for that icon I will also fetch an icon from our favorite React icon. Let's paste it here, and what I'm gonna do here, after the text, I will take an span tag, and also I'm gonna give that icon. So if I save it, you can see the icon is here. Now for that icon, I'm gonna also give a bunch of class name, because you see there is some hover effect here, and the icon also a little bit big. So let's paste that, and after doing that, once you're going there, you can see that hover effect is working. Now what you need to do, simply this entire li div, I'll make it a flex, and also I will make it in item center, and now it will be justify between. Now you see that is working just it's supposed to be. Now you can just hold on and make that padding y or x as the way you like. If you give padding of 2, it will be a little bit bigger. If you give padding of 1, it will be smaller, but now it's saving the purpose. So let's make that clickable function, which gonna let us know is it mark or not mark. So we will take an state where we will declare the mark and also we will keep the set mark. I think we need to use stat need to import. So now what we're gonna do, whenever we're gonna click, it will release mark and unmark. So inside that li list item, we'll click a function which will make, like whenever we will click on it, it will make set mark. One time it will make mark, one time it will make unmark. So now if I just simply make a console.log and search for the mark, let's see what's this giving. First is a false by default. Remember we declare it as false, and whenever we click, it's getting true, false, true, false, true, false. So now for that one, we need to change the color of the layer. Now initial color is there, so what we're gonna do, we will wrap all this in here. We'll just cut all the class name, and that class name we'll put in a functional way. So now what we're gonna do, we will just declare a little bit of class name over here. What we're gonna declare, whenever it will, if mark is true, the border will be orange 500, and the border left will be orange 500, and overall border will be orange 900. If it's not marked, it will be green 500, and that border will be overall 900. Remember, because border left we keep little bit bigger. Okay, so now we have an initial border color. We'll just remove that one, it's not required. If we hit the save and you go there, I think what is saying, to-do list.js expected an assignment. Okay, oh sorry, we didn't remove the console.log. I think so, that will be the, that was the issue. So now if I, okay, now you click, unclick, see it's changing the color. So you can like select, unselect, select, unselect. So now that is working fine. So after that, we need to create that remove to-dos. We're gonna make it later, because remember we need to have to-dos to remove, right? So there will be like whenever there is no to-do, that one will be go, that one will be empty. So first of all, let's create that footer. After the footer, because now we can place the to-do over here, and also in input form, let's just keep one single to-do. Okay, that's the to-do item. Now we will create our footer, and to create our footer, we'll also create a separate component which will give a name of footer.js, RAFCE. Now our footer is ready, and that footer we're gonna implement here in app. We'll give it the name as footer. So once we save, you can see our footer is ready. And for the footer, we need to get some bunch of icons. Remember, it's all about icons. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just drag those icons and paste it here. So all over the icons we are using, and inside the div, I will take some p tag, and that p tag will just put some lorem text. Like if you just simply type lorem, that text is appeared, and for that text we will also give a bunch of class name. So come over here, give a class name. Now you can see that text is available, and also we will create that icon over here. After the p tag, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create a div, and inside the div I'm gonna create a span tag, and inside that span tag I'm gonna give our icon. So now if I save it, you can see our icon is there. But whenever you come here, you see that icon has a little bit like gapping and padding, right? So we need to create that. So before we creating that one, we will go to the topper level of the div, and also we're gonna we'll just borrow the width of full and like that way. So now inside the div, I'm gonna get, I think before getting all other things, I will create that one. Okay, so remember we have a lots of icon here, so for that's why what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create a class name in index.js file, and that will be at layer, and in the components, inside that components, like I will keep a name of footer icon, and for that we're gonna apply some class name, and that class name, it will go like I'm just giving a width of 7, height 7. I'm giving a round and rounded color, and also the background color and the cursor pointer, and also duration. I'm keeping just a bunch of class name over here. So I'm gonna copy that class name. Let's go back to our footer, go to span tab and paste that one. After pasting that, if we go back to here, you see that's working fine. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna grab all other icons and I'm gonna drop it here. Now I think I made a mistake, maybe, yeah. What I'm gonna do, let's paste it here, and you see all the icon is available. Now to make it right, because it's not looks good, remember we keep that inside a div. So we'll give a class name over here, and we'll make it flex, and of course we'll make a justify its center, and also we will give a gap of 2. Now when you hit save and go there, it's in the middle, and that overall div also from the top portion will give a margin of 3. So now it's little bit top. Now here we need to fix that part, and that one also we will fix it. What we gonna do, remember in the app we have that portion over here, we will make it a flex, and we'll give a flex call, and then we'll give a gap of 10. So after giving that, remember everything is here, so whenever we give a gap and explicitly, it's working just fine. And I think the text we took, it's much bigger, that's why our design is not matching. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna simply go to the footer and keep little bit less text, and after saving it, now you see that one looks similar of that one. You just need to put the to do here, it's almost the same. So now after doing all of that, it's time to insert the function and formula to manipulate our to do. Okay, so remember whenever like we remove that one, we remove everything, whenever we click here, there is an error message is coming whenever that input field is empty. Just try to understand the pattern, and then you can do it very easily. I'm going to explain it very slowly so you'll understand it better. So first of all, let's close footer, index, to-do list. Also, we're not gonna do it, app close. Go to input from, and remember we have a button add to do. What we're gonna do, we're gonna give a click event which will handle the to do. Like whenever we will click on that, it will give a let's create that function like const handle to do, and it will be a clickable function. So we will take an event, and by default what it's gonna do, it will prevent all the default things, okay, and then it gonna start the work. Like first of all, let's see if it's working or not. Just make console log button, so whenever we click it will show the button. So I think that's our app, yeah. So now let's go and click our button. Yeah, that button is clicking. Now we need to get the value whatever we are putting in the input, right? And for that one, what we're gonna do, just this, we'll put it the topper level, or here. Like we will declare something like to do value, and we will set to do value, and by default, by default it will be, we need to get the use state, and by default it will be an empty array, like an empty object. And now what we're gonna do, whenever we're gonna changing anything over here, like we're gonna create an on change, and then it will create an event, and that event, what it gonna do, it will make that I think we're in the right side, right? Yeah, in the to do. So what it gonna do, it will set, I think is to do value, yeah, set to do value e dot target dot value. So it will just set the to do over here. So now here is the thing, we will create a function like if to do value is empty. What it gonna do? Now, like whenever we are clicking without having any value, it's giving an error message, right? Now we need to set up that error message. So what we're gonna do, if the to do value is empty, we will take another state where it will be const error message, and then set error message, and also it will be in use state. There is a different pattern to use the less use state use effect. I'm not gonna go in that way. I want you to understand it for future project. Then we're gonna create some complexity on it. So I'm going in a very simple way. Okay, so now what we're gonna do, whenever anyone click without any to do inserted there, it gonna set that error message as please write your to do. And what if the to do is available? What it gonna do? Then it will just like this, put a value over here, or just we're gonna console that console.log to do value. We're just gonna console that that to do value if it's available there. Okay, let's go save. Let's go to our console. Now also we will console another thing, which will be like console.log error message. Like whenever we're gonna have that, we'll just console.log it. So we click please write your to do. The message is here. Like if we type something, you can see the message is not available, but it's returning the value. But there is one problem. Whenever we type something after, like we type here, remember, after clicking, that is removing that that whatever we click over here. So we want the text to be removed after click, right? So for that purpose, we need to give a value over here. And what the value we're gonna give it? We will give it as the value of to do value. And how we gonna remove it? Whenever that value will be console.log, we will make set to do value as empty. Okay, so now this just ignore, just refresh that, it will go away. So now type something, or just first of all type nothing, because it's click coming in second click, is outside, we didn't take any use effect value, it will be fine. Just click some type something and then click. You see you have the value, and that value is gone. Type something, gone. So see, it's very smooth to do it actually. So now we are having it, but we are not gonna we will not see it in the console.log, right? What we need to do, we need to set a value to see the message. Like whenever the error message will come, we need to set it in some way where we can view it. Like whenever we having an error, that error will be showing here. So what we gonna do, first of all, for that we will create some message pattern. Let's go here in the components. We'll create a folder which will be message. Inside that message, it will be first one error message.js RAFCE, and inside that error message we will have a div, and inside that div, remember, I will just show you the pattern how it's coming. It will be a spinner, and then the text will follow through, right? So for that purpose, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take the spinner from our friend over in the React icons. Let's dump it here, and then inside here I'm gonna take a p tag, okay, and that p tag will contain the error message, like it will pass the error message, okay. And for that div, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna give a rapid bunch of class name. First of all, let's go over here, type the class name, give it here. Just see what we are doing. I will make the div as absolute. Remember, it's not coming in anywhere. It's an absolute div. It will always come over here, okay? So that's what I'm gonna do it right now. I made it an absolute. I give a shadow color. I make a font title, tracking white, just simple bunch of class names over here. And also I need to declare another thing because I believe we type the border, right? Yeah. Border, yes, but we also need to give the border color. So that is the border color it will be having. And also after, or not after, before that error message, what we have, remember, not after, I think before. Yeah, spinner is before. So we're gonna create an span tag, and inside that span tag we will give that spinner. So, and that spinner, that all other functionality I'm gonna put later on. Now let's go to our input form, because the message will be seen here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just get error message over here. So once you save, as you go, see the error message is not looks good though. So what I'm gonna do, first of all, that div we need to make it a flex, and also it will be the item center, and then we'll give a gap of 4. And you see it looks like, and also the spinner we need to make something. What we're gonna do, we'll give a class name, text of Axel, and remember it was spinning. It's spinning, that there is an animation going on. So what we're gonna do, there is an animate in Tailwind which will be spin. Let's give a spin, and now that is spinning. But I don't want that message to be seen here. What I want that message will reflect here. Remember that error message. So I will just pass that error message as an error message. Now let's go back to error message. I will just destructurize that one, error message, and here without passing that one, I'm gonna just deploy, sorry, it will be error message. Now after saving it, you can see, please write your to do. So now let's remove it. That is still happening here, don't worry about it. And now whenever I'm typing something, it's still showing, because remember we didn't remove that error message whenever we keep the set to do value in default. And also actually we will not remove that value, we will remove the overall components. Remember, we're having it after several times, it's just removing by itself. That's things we're gonna create. First of all, let's create a value while it will remove from that component, okay? First, let's go to our to-do list, and inside the to-do list, not the to-do list actually, we will go to our input form. Yes, we are in the input form, and inside the input form we will create another piece of statement. What will be? Const, it will be like show error, and then set show error, and by default it will be false, okay? So now by default it's false, but what we're gonna do, whenever we have that error message, what it will do, it will set show error true, okay? And now we need to create another piece of state which will be very much slick. I will just get like here, this one, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do if show error is available, only then give me that item, okay? whenever the show error is available. Now it's nothing because our show error is not available. If we add to do, there is an error, it's coming, but it's not going because after certain time we need to make it, we need to remove it, right? So first of all, that error messages, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna keep it inside an comment so we will find it very easily. So just keep, so I'll just keep it inside a comment so that we can find it very easily. And now we need to create that piece of state by which we will also create one timer that it will remove by itself. So now for that, because we want to change whenever it's mount, and that's why we will use the use effect. I think it's getting the use effect. Oh, no, sorry. Use effect, and also there will be a function. And now inside that use effect, we will set a timer. Like we'll just give a name of timer, or you can give any name of that. Now inside that, we will make a set timeout function. Okay, so let's create it. Inside that function, whenever if we have that show error, okay, if we doesn't have, there is no problem. Whenever we have the show error, what it gonna do, it gonna make that show error as false. But when and how, what it gonna do, in every 2 seconds, like 2000 milliseconds, it gonna make it false. But still, even we make it, it will not go like after 2 seconds, as because we create the function but we didn't return it. Like we need to return, and also we will return a function. What it gonna do, it will clear the timeout. Okay, it will clear timeout. And what timeout it gonna clear? Remember, we set a timer of for the 2 milliseconds. It will clear that timer and it will unmount that timer from here. Okay, so now if we just reload and put it, see, it's coming over, and after 2 seconds it's gone. It's coming over, after 2 seconds it's gone. And now also it's better because remember, we didn't put a dependency. It can be in empty loop and it will like round and round every single mount and unmount, and it can crush your project. So what we're gonna do, we will just tell it where it will do the action. Whenever the show error will change, it will run that things. Now let's go to our developer tools. I think no error is available here, so we are quite fine. So now we did that one, and after that, the same way, now we are having one error, and that is or we can do one thing. Remember, it's coming very slick, so for that we will create the framer motion. That motion will give us that one. Remember, it's coming very smoothly, so that is smooth we're gonna create with the framer motion. Let's copy that code, and in our another terminal, let's install that one. And to save the time, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just go through I'm gonna just go through with some separate pattern. Just like I will import that framer from the framer motion, and I will make that div as a motion div. And now I'm gonna give some bunch of framer classification. What it gonna do, initially it will be from y-axis -20, it will be top. Then whenever it will animate, it will come in the view in the same line where it is now. It will come in here where it will be now. See, it will come here, and then it will disappear, and the opposite will be 0. I keep a spring and stiffness, and the reason of that, see, whenever it's coming, it's giving a shaky shadow, right? It looks a little bit better and sleek. So for that purpose, I keep that on. So we have our error message. Now we only have that one error. Now we need to create the other error, which will be for the categories. Like, see, select a valid category, and now also we need to modify our category in our input from. Remember, we need to take a state which will declare our category. After the set to the value, we will put the category value, and that category value, you remember, we took a select value whenever we will on-change something in that select value, it will set the category. Like the same way, it will take an event, and after that event, it will set category e.target.value. So our category is already in set. Now let's go and create some function. Now we keep the if else. Now if I want to the same else way, so we'll make the else if. We have the to do value, but if means the category is empty. What it gonna give? Whenever the category is empty, also it gonna declare, it gonna give us an error field, which will be set error message as select a category, and then it will make the set show error true. So let's see if it's working or not. Let's just reload that one. I'll remove this one. Okay, write your to do. I'll type something. Now see, select a category. Now whenever I select the category, that message will be gone and our to do is created. Remember, no, it's not that created. I think, yeah, that's already here. So now this to valid item is working, but whatever we are keeping that category, still we need to, okay. Also we need to keep a piece of state where it will be like we type something, it's giving the category. If type something is coming in personal, not giving. If type something, giving categories, not giving. So whenever we type categories, it also need to allow some messages. And for that purpose, I'm gonna get another else if, which will declare that fellow. Like if category is equal to categories, it also giving a message which will be select a valid category. And I think I declared the show success message earlier. So okay, let's go. Select a to do, we need to select the category. If we select here, it's okay. If we grab and again select the categories, select a valid category. So now we have the error messages. Now what about the to do's? Okay, so whatever we type here, we want to that one to be appear here, but it will not be done in the simple way. Like here, if we just pass the to do value, like remember we have the to do value, and also we have that, I think we passed that one in our input, right? To do list, like to do value equal to, we give to do value, we pass that value, and then we want to cache that value in our to do list. So let's go to do list value, and here instead of to do item, let's give to do value. We give it, but there will be a problem. Like we refresh that one. Now there is nothing here. So whenever we type, it will keep on typing because we need to keep that in a piece of state. We are not gonna use it because we will take that to do directly from the store. But right now I will just show you how you can do it if you are going in that way. First of all, let's keep a state over here, like const current to do, and now set current to do, and that will be use not use effect, it will be use state, and it will be false. And then what it gonna do, before it create an empty, it will make the to do value empty. Whatever I'm gonna do, set current to do equal to do value, and now what I'm gonna do, to do value equal to current to do. Now let's go back here, refresh it, type, this is our first to do. It will not work because we need to, now after, you see, this is our first to do. Sorry, I made a spell mistake. It should be our, or anything you type, it's coming over here. So now this will not come directly here. Remember, whenever we type something, it will go to our store, right? From that store, we're gonna get that value. So initially there will be a different components. So now we need to create the success message. We have the error message, but we need to create a success message. Like whenever that thing is done, okay, that everything is empty and the message is okay, we need to create a success message, right? And for that instead also, let's get another piece of state which will be below that success error message. We're gonna create a success message, and whenever that all the fields will be fine, it's the giving is coming here, right? Here we're gonna create a piece of state where it will give a success message that to do added successfully. In that same like error, we're gonna create another component, success message.js RAFCE, and it's I'm just gonna dump it over here because it's just the same pattern it's supposed to be. Okay, so I'm just gonna pull out over here. Remember the same thing we did. This time we are just passing the success message. Okay, now we save it, and here remember the same pattern we did. We also made it absolute, but what we did, we keep it in the bottom, or you can keep it in the same position the way you like, but I just keep it in the bottom. You should give it a try the way you like. Okay, so now in the same way, remember we also created another piece of state in beforehand, show error, set show error, remember? And the same way also we're gonna do that show success, set show success. Okay, initially it will be false. Okay, so whenever that value is, we will get that value, what we're gonna do, it will make set show success true. Okay, now below that one we are showing an error message, and after that I'm just gonna grab our success message. In the same way, in the same component wise, we're gonna just come over here. Like if there is a show success message, it will come and give the success message. I think we need to import the success message. Import success message, and let's save it. Now after passing something, after passing the criteria, wow, to do added successfully. Now there is one thing, we need to remove that one, same the way we remove it here in that timer. What, it is just simple thing. If there is an show success message, what it gonna do, it will just make show success message false, and also it will, I need to keep that dependency clear. It will only run whenever the show success message that is changing on a come. So there is an error success. Now you see this is staying together. You see that? And it's not like error, whenever the error is available, success will be gone, right? So that piece of state, we're gonna keep it here. Remember, we make it set error true. But if there is, can be, set success message can be there, also we're gonna do set success message false, right? Like remember, you can make it dynamic way. I'm just doing in that way that you can understand it, right? And also whenever there is error message, we are just making set success message false. But whenever the set success message will be true, what we're gonna do, set error message will be I think set show error message, show error will be false. So now if you go back now, just better make a refresh because we're using use state. Now create and to do. Okay, there is an error. If we create a to do, another is gone. That one is not going. That's very interesting. Let's create again. Go. Okay, go. Another. Keep again. Okay, that one is staying. That's little bit tricky. From where it's coming, I think we are not passing the success message. Maybe go to success. Okay, success message. We're getting success message. We're keeping it here. Okay, go to our input form. I think we are just missing a piece of state somewhere. Okay, let's go back through again. If to do value is empty, set error, set show error true, set it will not, it will be set show success. Okay, not the success message. That's the mistake we have been done. Okay, that is okay. Okay, now I think true. Okay, set show success. Yeah, now if we just refresh, there is an error. Okay, error is showing. Okay, now it's slick. Now we have together error is here. If you type, okay, that's slick. So now we set up already our the messages is going on and everything is moving just fine. So what we gonna do right now, we gonna need to create our store, because whenever we are typing and to do, it's ready to go back to our store. So first of all, to initialize that store, we're gonna use that. Let's go to our, I think we will use for that, I think better to use Redux-Toolkit instead of use the another one. I think toolkit, yeah, Redux-Toolkit. Let's go in the Redux-Toolkit. I'm not gonna use the context API because in future we're gonna have a several project, so in that way you can understand better, because if the store is big, it's better to use a separate component for the store. So now how to install that one, let's go a little bit down. I think we will find it. Let's go to quick start. To initialize that, we need to install that one. Let's go to our project. Oh, sorry, I think there is a mistake. You see, that one no need to be there. Just be careful when you're copying it. And also I'm gonna see my package, because it will install two packages. Okay, one will be Redux-Toolkit, another will be the React Redux. I think, yeah, React Redux and Redux-Toolkit. So that's done. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go through the documentation. Why? Because if I go through the documentation, you will understand it better. So in the components, not in the components, in the top over level, in the source folder, what I'm gonna do, create another file, and in that file I'll give it a name of Redux store. Now what we need to do, we need to create an store. So in that Redux store, we will create store.js. And now what we need to do, that command line, we're just import as a configure store, and then we are initializing the Redux from the Redux-Toolkit, and just we are passing an empty reducer. And after that we need to declare store and provider. We'll just go simply in the index.js. We need that provider from React Redux. Let's go and get it. And remember, we already have this store. Let's pass the store from our Redux store which we made. And now this app we need to pass inside the provider, and that provider have an initial value of store which will confirm our value of store. Now let's go in our app, refresh all the data. Let's go back here, and as you see, our value is empty. It's because we need to create the reducer. Okay, so first of all, to create the reducer after the store, what the things we need to do, let's go back to over here again. We need to create another function where will be the counter slices, but we are using the to do. So what we're gonna do, we will create another file. It will be to do slice.js. Now here, what we are going to do, we need to import the create slice. So just import it. I think we need to import it from React Redux. And now see what it's done here. It's just first giving an initial value. Okay, let's go just copy from here just to easy understand. We're giving an initial value which will be not a value, but remember we are gonna create a to-do list. So we will make a to-dos list, and initially it will be an empty array. Okay, sorry, it will be an empty array. That will be the initial value. And then what we need to do, we need to export our to-do slice, and that slice we're gonna create, and it will take that create slice. And inside that create slice, we will pass an object, and that object will contain a name which will be, we are getting the to-dos item, so we will create the name as to-dos, and first argument it will take the initial state, whatever is available there, and then it will create the I think reducers, and that reducers will be inside an object. And now we need to create the action we're gonna use, right? Am I missing something somewhere? I think yeah, that one should not be there. Yes, I just give an extra curly braces, that's why it's happening. After initial state there will be nothing. So now we need to create the reducer. First, what kind of reducer we're gonna make? Remember, there is three kind of reducers here. First is whenever we are getting something, it's adding the to do. Remember, first one is the adding to do, then it's the remove like the delete to do, deleting a single to do, and then the remove to do. We need to create that three slices. So first of one, we need to create our add to do. So either you can use the capital letter, I will just go through the camel case, you can try any other way. So first at add to do's there will be two arguments. First one, it will take the state, initial state, which is 0, and now it will take the action by which it will change the items, change the properties. So now state, what it gonna be, state dot to-dos list equal to action dot payload. Now whatever action we're gonna pass, it will take the initial empty to-do list, empty array, and it will pass that value here. Okay, there is a catchy thing, I will tell you later. Just go through in that way, try it, so you will understand why I will add the next one is later. Okay, so now we are having our slicer. Now we need to export the slice. So first one is our add to do's, and that add to do's, it gonna be like to do slice, we keep the name, right? To do slice dot actions, and then also we will export default, and that will be to do slice dot whatever reducers is here, we're gonna just export it. Now inside that reducer, okay, now we need to catch everything. Remember, we pass it to the reducer, so we need to import that to do reducer from our to do slice, and that reducer, what we're gonna do, we're gonna pass it here. Okay, remember, we give it a name of to do's, and then what we're gonna do here, we're gonna pass that our to do reducer. Now after saving it, is everything is okay. If you go back here, you will see that here in your Redux. Of course, to having that, you need to I think download the extensions. Just more tools, go to extensions, and I think somewhere here I install React developers is there, and I think, yeah, you need to install that one, that Redux dev tools, so that you can view whatever happening inside your Redux. Now that one is okay. So this is the time we need to dispatch our action. Okay, so we create our store. Now let's go back to our input form. Remember, we have one import form where we are having the data already. Let's go back there in input form. Now here, remember, we are showing the success message. Before showing anything, we want that data to be dispatched in the store. First of all, to dispatch the data, we need to use the dispatch, and for that, make const dispatch. It's a common practice to keep a name the dispatch. You can keep any name as you like. We need to import it from React Redux, and now whenever that things before anything, okay, and remember, we keep a current value. Actually that value is not required. Why is not required, I'm gonna show you, but right now keep it in that way. Now whenever we gonna dispatch that, remember, after giving all the errors, like, see, we are having that to do's. Remember, we are getting a success message. When we are this to do, we will send it here. So what we're gonna do, we will dispatch an action. Okay, and that dispatch, what we're gonna dispatch, we're gonna dispatch at to do's. Remember, and you need to import it, otherwise it will not work. You need to import it. I'm automatically importing it. I think this is the one. So you need to import it. Okay, so now we will keep the add to dos, and inside that we will pass an object, and that object will be an ID, and that ID will take to do value. Okay, I think I will not pass the to do value. I will just pass math.random. Let's see what is going there. I want to pass a number. Okay, so let's see, we are passing that. If it's going fine, otherwise we will pass something else, and then we will give a to do, which will be to do value, and also we are going to pass the category, which will be the category. So now let's save it, and it's time to go back to our here. Let's refresh that one. Now try, this is for the store. Let's click, of course, the error here, and you see it's generating an ID. You can put an ID or you can generate the any. You need to just generate a number, because whenever we're gonna fetch the to do, we will use that ID. Remember, we need to whenever we are adding the to do over here, we are having a list, right? We need to filter with that actual ID. So I'm sending an ID over here and also our to do. Now let's create another to do. See, it's replacing it, and there is the problem. We don't want to replace the to do. We want that to come in an array. We need to add it, and so for that, just need to simple changes. What we're gonna do in our store, and also I think in to do slice, remember we give action.payload. Instead of that one, we will just push that action.payload inside the initial value. Okay, after doing that, if you just go here, add some more to dos, adding one to do, and add some more to do, you see to do is available here. Now remember, here we are having the to do value. So like before we are adding that to do value, we will create another piece of state. Remember, whenever we will refresh that one, our to do is going. So if we add the to do from somewhere else, how are we gonna fix that? I think yeah, okay, before fixing it, let's show the to do here. Whatever we are typing, the to do will appear here. That we're gonna do it. And to get you to do, like we need to go to do list. I think we are showing it in our same the I think it's coming in the input form. Remember, yeah, that's the to do value we are passing over here. So we need to catch whatever to dos we are passing in this store, and to catch that, let's give a name like to dos item. We'll get all the to dos, and we need to use selector from again React Redux to get the item, and that one also will take another state, and that state gonna deploy a function. It's gonna be state, and then remember we give it the name of to dos, right? And then where we keep it, inside of to do list. So inside of to do list, I think list, it will not be comma, is. So what we're gonna do, we are using the use selector to access our store, and then is overall store we are taking inside an state, and from that state we are mapping through the to do names, and inside that names we are getting all the to dos. So now if we just simply console.log, I think it's we keep a to do item. Let's go and see what it's giving us. Right now is nothing. We added to do. Okay, it's cool. We are not getting anything. Input from 19. Okay, let's first go to React. Redux is getting to do is here, but we are not getting any single to do. Why is that? We are passing it as state. Okay, and then we're giving it to dos. To this item, use selector, we're passing this state, state.todos. I think I missed an S, because remember, if we go to to-do slice, it's a to-dos list, not to-do list. Okay, just a small name. Okay, we refresh it. Oh, everything gone. Categories, add to do. We get another to this. See, one to do is here. Let's put it again. Put another to do. Add to do. Two to do is here. Okay, make it more. Add to do. Now we have 3 to do. Okay, so our to-dos is working. So first of all, what we're gonna do, we go back to our here, remove that console, because now we can mapping through our to-dos item. Okay, so what we're gonna do over here, we are declaring that one. So just cut it. We keep it the name of to-dos item. We will map through all over the item, and also just give it the name of item. And then we're gonna return that to-do list. And first of all, that to-do value, what we're gonna give? Okay, I think we will not pass the to-do value. We will pass as to-do. Okay, so that to-do will be item.to-do. Remember the name we give here? To-do. So item.to-do. If we go back to our, I think, to-do list, we will catch the to-do, and also we will pass the to-do. I think it will freak out for a bit. So let's go here. We are passing to-do list. Now see, we are getting 3 to-dos. Okay, so now if we go to our console, see, remember, each child we need to give a key. So what's the key? The key will be item dot, I think we are passing an ID. So now refresh. I think everything will be gone. Don't worry, we will add it right now. Coming 1 to do, 2 to do. See, it's added. Now type anything, add 3 to do. But remember, whenever we are adding here, it's giving a slick little bit of animation. So what we're gonna do, I think for the to-do list also, we are gonna use our motion friend. So let's go back here. Let's import motion from framer motion, and that LID also we're gonna create in a framer, and also we will just give a bunch of framer classification, and you will see. So whenever we are adding a to do, see how slick. It's because, let's refresh it, you're gonna see it, understand it better. Now go back to personal. Wow, it's adding to do. Go back to business, adding to do. So to do is adding perfectly. Now we need to create another piece of state. Whenever we click it here, our to do gonna be removed, right? So before creating that, okay, better create that one, then we're gonna create the another piece of state. So first we have our first to do, I think slicer, that is add to dos, and now we're gonna use another slicer which will be remove to dos. Okay, so let's go down, and then not remove, let's make it as delete to dos, because we're gonna delete to dos. And also we'll just take a state over here. We are not going, I think not a state, we need to get also an action, because whenever we click that, we're gonna pass an action, right? And now we're gonna declare our function. Now here is a catchy thing. Remember, we already have state.todo list. Okay, now here what we're gonna do, just try to understand that one. We will go through inside of state, and we will go to to-do list, and we will make a filter inside of it. And by which we will filter? Inside that filter, we will create an item, and we will filter through that item and item.id. If the item and ID is match, if not match with the action.payload, okay, that to do will be removed. Okay, so if whenever is the we are sending, whenever we will say click, remember we need to click it over here. Just add in to do, we need to click it here. Whenever we will click, it will check that ID is matching with inside that array, if there is any item is matched with that ID, it will remove that ID. It means it will remove the item. That's the way we are filtering it. So whenever we will click here, it's gonna check in the store, is that item is available, is that item ID is available. If it's available, it will filter it and it will remove it from there. That's as simple as it. That's the same simple component concept you can use anywhere. So remember where we has that icon, delete icon is here. So we need to create that state here. So let's create a function on click. And here, just to see if it's working or not, just make a console.log. Done. Let's see if that one is working or not. After if it's work, then we're gonna create everything. We click, yes, it's done, it's working. So we know it's working. Now again we need to dispatch an action from here. So I think what would be better, we keep it in the right position. So first of all, let's declare the dispatch over here, like dispatch. We need to use dispatch. So now we're gonna dispatch the action. What we gonna dispatch? Remember, a simple things we're gonna dispatch. After clearing the function, let's cut the console.log. Let's make the dispatch function, and inside that dispatch we will make delete. I think that function is not remember there is one mistake. There is, I'm doing time to time and I think you should be careful about it. Whenever you add to the slices, you need to declare it here. Okay, so here it will be delete to this. So now we are exporting it and it will be available right now. So now if we give delete to this, we can see that here. And whatever we're gonna pass that ID. I think if we pass the ID, what is showing here, to-do list ID is okay. Remember, we are just passing the to-do from the input form, right? We are not passing the ID. Either way, you can just pass the whole bunch of item. Like for the to-do, I can just pass the item, like whole bunch of item, I pass it. So now if we go to to-do list, I will take, instead of to-do, I will take the item. And now inside here, what I'm gonna do, that item.todo, and here also what I'm gonna pass, item.id. I think that will solve the problem in a way. So now if we go here, yes, so now hit it to do, edit. We made a mistake over here. I think instead of doing that, instead of turning the item, because we destructurize here, so first of all, what I'm gonna do, from that input form, I will just pass an ID, just simple way, because otherwise it will create an issue. So it will be item.id, and that one is item.todo. So if we go to our to-do list, so we have the to-do, and also we will have we need to get the ID. So after saving it, I think this time it will not give us an array. Just to be sure, open the developer tools. If anything error is coming, okay, we are having it. Yet another to do. Now let's go here in the Redux store. We have to do. If we click, one remove. If we click, another remove. But whenever there is no to do, we want to pass a message here. Remember, we are having a message which is showing, if you remove all the to-dos, your to-do list is empty. So that same message we want to put it there. So let's go back to our input form. I think inside that input form we're gonna create that. So that is our input form, and here is our to-do list where we are mapping through it. So now just understand, just try to think, if what you're gonna making, like if there is no to-do in the store, like there is to-do, right? The to-do is there. What if there is no to-do? The to-do whatever we are taking, remember we are taking the to-dos item. So what we're gonna do, first of all, we're gonna create a function, like we will create a declare state. Just cut that one, create a state. Okay, now what we're gonna do, to-dos item dot length, gth length, if is greater than I think lab is to-dos item dot map is greater than 0. If there is greater than 0 means if there is to do, we're gonna pass that one, we're gonna pass the to-do list, and if there is no to do, we're gonna pass a p tag, and that p tag will contain that piece of information I'm gonna pass right now, that your to-do list is empty. There is a little bit of just say class name is there, you can just copy and paste that one. Now remember, we use the current to do to declare a to do over here whenever we are typing a to do and the current to do is coming. Now see, the current to do is assigned but never used, because we should not keep that in a first step, because I told you before I'm not gonna use it. So now just see where we make that set current to do. Set current to do is here. Let's remove it, save it, and now see, our thing is pitch perfect and clear. Now if you just reload it, everything is gone. So now how are we gonna fix that? Okay, now there is two way to fix it. Two way. One is the way that you can save it in a local store, or another one, because we are using the Redux-Toolkit, we can use Redux persist. Like if you just search for persist is not here. I think we need to go to our tutorials overview. This persist is also not here. It will be somewhere here. Quick start. If we search SIST persist, why is not available? Okay, let's refresh that one. Or maybe in the user guide, it will be somewhere here. Yeah, it's here in the user guide. So now see, we will use that Redux persist to whenever we are having a data, like whenever we are reloading, it will not go, it will stay here. Okay, so for that we need to install that Redux persist in our application. Let's go and install that one. You can use the local storage. Oh, sorry, I need to put npm install. Then you can use in the local storage, but when the application is getting larger, it's better to that same toolkit to maintain your data. So what we're gonna do, we will import overall that portion and also the storage, because configure store we already added. Remember, we added in our index file. So we will just import in tuple. Sorry. We are in a wrong way. That, remove that, no need this one. We need it in our store. Okay, in here we already declared the configure store. So after that we will import this too, that persist from Redux persist, that all over the things will be here, persist store and other, and then also the storage. That storage will be will maintain the storage capacities here. And then see, we need to use that persist get. Now that persist get they use in the render, in that index. Okay, so that persist get should be in there. So what we're gonna do, we will just take this portion, because we already have the app, we have the reducer. So instead of that, we're gonna declare that, and also we will export the persister, because it's in the same component. That's why it's not exporting by default, but we need to export it because we remember we maintain the components. And also, and let's save it, and let's go to our index.js, and in here what we're gonna do, remember we need to also import a bunch of things. That persist get we're gonna import. Let's import persist get. And also after importing it, we have the provider and we have the app. So inside we need to wrap that app with the persist get. Now also there is another thing. Remember, I just now make it in const export. We need to get that persister from the same. We already get the store. Now we will get the persister. So that persist get gonna take some kind of props. It will be take a loading, and in loading it will take also as a part of loading. Like by default, if there is no data or something else, it's gonna give a loading preview, and that persister will be the persister we're gonna pass. Now if we come over here, see what is showing. I think possible exports persister store. Okay. Which file? Export store imported as a store was not found in Redux store. I think I made another mistake. Yes. That is, I delayed that store. Remember, we had an store, and that one I delayed. It should not be deleted. Okay. So how are we gonna do that? Because we need to paste that inside that I think in store. Just let's go backward. Yeah, remember here I think it's a bit forward. Okay, now this one we need to add inside that. I will show you which one is that. See, it's inside our configure store. Remember, so this portion conf persist reducer will be there, so that will be in top. Let's install that, import that. So now what we need to do in everything, see, we already created the store, so inside that store we're gonna pass that method. Let's go. Okay, so now we are having it. And now also we are passing the road reducer, but remember we passed the to-do reducer. So just simply we will pass the to-do reducer, and also inside that reducer we are having just a persistent reducer. But remember, we are giving a name of that our reducer, and that name is to-dos. So we will keep that name to-dos here, so the persistent reducer will contain that name and get the to-dos from there. So now here we need another last one. That persister should need to be imported. So let's give it here and export it. Now I think the error should be gone. Yes, it's gone. So now if we check our here in console, wow, it's clear. So now this is our first to do. Check, message is showing personal. Whoa, this is our first to do. If you go here, to do added. That's this old thing. It will just go from there. It's from different app. Second, oh sorry, second to do is here. Now we'll just change the category. We have two to dos. Give a refresh, another refresh, other refresh. It will never go until you delete it. Okay, so now we are having a to do, but remember we need to keep a piece of state where also we can delete all the to dos, right? So that piece of state also, that remove to dos, we're gonna create. Now that remove to dos will be just beneath of that our to-dos list. So let's go to our input form. Remember where you keep that to-dos list, that's the to-dos list we keep. So now beneath that one, we're gonna, like, we have the UL, right? Down of UL, we're gonna create another piece of state. And now what we're gonna take that same state, that to-dos item, okay, dot length. If that length is more than 0, only then that function gonna run. And what it gonna run? It will take a button, okay, or just button, and it will say remove to-dos. And also for that button, what we gonna do? We're gonna create some bunch of class name. That's the button. So whenever that length is more than 0, that will appear. Now it's appearing because see, it's removed. So it's already working. We added to do, the button is working, but that button is just coming directly. Like if you see here, it would be a little bit slick. Like if you add to do, it's coming a little bit slick. So what we need to do for that, we need to add our friend from motion. So let's go back to motion and let's create some state from motion. And you will find everything, each and everything in the motion documentation, the Framer motion documentation. You feel free to go there and read everything about you need to know. So let's go back here. Oh, we need to import the motion. We didn't use it here before. So let's import, I think, okay, motion is here. Now if we go back here, delete that portion. See, it's very slowly and it's very slick. Now it's the time to create another piece of slice, which will be remove to-dos, right? I think it will be into the slice index. I think better save it, something wrong here. Okay, now store also not required. So where we'll go? We'll go over to the slice. Now this the last piece of state which we're gonna use, the remove to-dos. It's a very simple. It will just take a piece of state, okay, and then the function. What it's gonna do is state dot to-do list. It will just empty the to-do list, okay. And remember, we previously we have been done a mistake. We need to declare it here, remove to-dos, and let's go to input from. Now here, what is where is I think your to-do list remove to-dos is here. So now here we will click an on-click event, okay. So first of all, let's see if we dispatch some items. Yeah, we already dispatched from here beforehand. So now we will create a function over here, or I think we can do one thing. We'll just okay, let me think how we gonna do that. Whenever we are clicking, yeah, whenever we're gonna click, because it will not directly come that one. Remember, whenever we click, it will give a pop-up. That's the thing. From that pop-up, we need to create that state. So first of all, we need to create that pop-up. So first, that's what I was thinking, that it will not just coming like that. We need to create that pop-up first. So whenever we will click, that pop-up will come. So first, let's go to our here in the remove to-dos, and then we will create a bunch of things. First, like let's keep a piece of state, and that state will be like const show remove, set show remove, and first of all it will be use te. First of all it will be false, and whenever we will click there, whenever we gonna click in that remove to-dos, on click, and whenever we gonna I think on click on it, it will fire an event, and it will make that set show remove as true. So first, let's go to our console. Let's see if it's working or not. So LA log show remove. Let's see if it's working or not. Then we're gonna declare any other things. Let's inspect console. Initially is false and then it's true. Okay, it's working. So now is the cache thing. I think I'm gonna remove that, and then now I need to declare whenever the show remove is true. After down over here, I will declare that, like whenever the show remove will be available, only then it will fire that event. Whenever it's available, it will pass a div, and that div, remember, it will take the overall capacity. Let's give a things. We're gonna give a high white full hide screen. So now if you come, initially it's nothing. Whenever we click, see that div is available here. So now just go through that classification. We are making that div as fixed, so you cannot go scroll up and down. Even the screen is big, it will stay there. So inside that div, we're gonna create another div, okay, and inside that div we're gonna create a p tag. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna get that p tag and gonna drag it here. So now in that p tag, what I'm gonna saying that, are you sure to remove the to-dos? If you go back here, see, it's showing here, are you sure to remove the to-dos? But of course that one is inside of that div, so we need to give a bunch of class name for that div, then only the design will come. You feel free to study all of the design and you will understand it better. So now if you come, you see it's in the middle. It's because I'm giving it from the left half, right half, from the top half, and I'm giving also transform translate. Just go through all the class name, type one by one, you will understand it. I already experienced it and it's working better. And now also after that p tag, I'm gonna just drag to button here. That button will be responsible to create the event. First of all, I'll remove that because I want to create it manually. So let's see if it's I think I delete something else. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna just create that button by myself. So that button actually I'm gonna keep inside a div, and then I will keep that button. First one will be yes, and for first button there will be some class name. That is the class name I'm giving. You can see the button is available here, and also we will keep the second button just inside of it. Let's create another button, and that button will give us no, and let's say get the class name, save it. So now one yes and no, that's coming from that class name, and the div we're gonna make it as a flex. Let's give a class name, it will be flex, and the items will be center because we'll keep everything center. Justify also will be center, and we'll give a gap of 4. Okay, now if you hit, you can see now we need to create an on-click event. Whenever you don't want to delete all the, remove all the to-dos, then what we will do, we will create an on-click function, and that function will fire up that set show remove will be false. Click, it's gone. Click, it's gone. So now we need to fire up that yes portion, and what we gonna fire up in that button, we will fire up another on click event, and inside that on click, inside that function, we will dispatch our events. Which events we will dispatch? We will dispatch the remove to-dos. There will be no action, nothing. It will just simply pass do the remove to-dos, remove all the to-dos. So now if we go there, I think remove to-dos is not imported. So let's go back here, add to-dos, and also it will be remove to-dos. Go back here, click. all the to-dos removed, still is not gone, because what we need to do, we need to create another piece of state on it. It will remove the to-do first of all, okay, and then it will do another task, okay. It will not stop after just doing that, so it will show remove, it will be false. Click, it's gone. So first of all, this is our to-do. Add, need the category, give personal, add to-do added. Now another to-do, personal, to-do added. Just type a bunch of to-do, more to-do, another to-do, another to-do, another to-do. Now see, it's getting higher, because remember why it's happening that? If we go to our app here, I think we give a min height of screen, and if we give a height of full, okay. Also we can do something over here. I think to do that, I will just grab some class name for our overall div is here. I will paste it. So overall items will be in the center, because see, whenever you are adding a to-do, it will not go directly down, because I'm giving the full width. So now if we click in the remove, see, it's in the center. So whenever you're clicking, is to-do is adding, another to-do adding. But after certain portion, because there is a margin top, I think we keep it somewhere, yeah, from padding top, so that will never go to upper level of it. So now if you refresh, that to-do is still here. Refresh again, is still here. You can delete one by one, or if you want to remove all the to-dos, you say no, I want it, you can do it, remove all the to-dos. Now in a way we have done that portion. So now there is another portion is here. Remember, whenever we are adding a to-do, that category, if you want to see, visualize your to-dos by category, you can create any category, multiple category you want, then you can add it here or inside any way you like, okay. If you want me to help you how you can do that categories, let me know in the comment below, then I will create a category, not only putting that category here, but if you have any design pattern, you can tell me, I can fix it anywhere. But if you want me to do it, you can just mention in the comment below, okay. And okay, just give it, this is so long to do, and I think it will be just fine and it will work. Just submit it. Yeah, that's good, it's working. So you can just, now here you can also put an edit button. You click here, you can edit you can pass the value, okay. So now if you want me to do that edit portion and that category portion, let me know in the comment below. And if you can do it yourself, please pass the link to me. I want to see how you did it. And of course in our next build we're gonna create Amazon clone video, and also I'm gonna press I think you already have one portfolio video from me, I think, no portfolio, which we have here, that one. So beside that there is another tremendous, another big thing is coming, that portfolio also we're gonna create. So if you want me to done it, then let me know in the comment below. I'm gonna do it for you. For right now, our today's project, of course we will also make it live. Remember, we are just having that on here. No, we're gonna make it live. So in my repository, I'm gonna create another repository. It will be like YouTube to-do app. So I'm gonna keep it YouTube to-do app. And now, like simple to-do application using React.js and Redux-Toolkit. So let's create our repository, and now let's kill our local host. What I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna add a git, okay. So let's git init. We are initializing the git here. Now let's see git status, okay. Now if we want to add the all things, we'll just git add dot is all are added. Now git commit, give a message to do application added. So now if you see the git status, our tree is clean. So now we need to link our to-do application from the local to our here in our remote. And what you need to pass, git push u origin main. So I have master, so what I'm gonna put, git push u u for the first time, or without u also it will work. Like I will not put u, you'll see it will work. Origin master. If you're initializing for the first time in git line, that time you need to put it, otherwise it will be just fine. So now it's uploading that one. If you refresh that one, it will work just fine. Remember previously we uploaded that one, I think our like I think portfolio, that one we did one in one in Vercel, I think Vercel. If we go back there, yeah, I can remember one we uploaded in Vercel, and another, yeah, that one we uploaded in Vercel. So that is the one, not that the one, that's mine. This the one, YouTube portfolio. That is the one we uploaded in Vercel. So today we are not gonna upload in Vercel, we're gonna upload in Netlify. And for the same thing, what we need to do, just logging. I'm gonna logging through, you can logging with your Google, or you can manually logging, but it will just redirect through my GitHub link. I'm gonna logging through it. It already took me. I will just add an existing project from my GitHub. And remember what the name we give. We give, I think, YouTube to do. So let's search if it find it. Yes, YouTube to do app we give. Just check it one more. Yeah, YouTube to do app. So now we'll just deploy it. It's same like Vercel, and it's like the similar capabilities as here. So you can both try in Vercel and in Netlify. If you are in the production like not in the production build, you are checking, you can better go in that too. From I feel better, especially in the railway you need to have a restriction of certain hours, but here is no restriction. You can go and check it, you can do it as you like. So now it's going to load everything, and then it will spin our app. So let's go down. Now it's creating an optimized production build. So remember what I said, all of you, if you want me to do that, like that one, this portion, just let me know. This portion or any other components you want to add from my side, let me know in the comment below. I will do it. See, your side is in live. So now that one is in live, but see, it's a very big bunch of domain name. So here there is still a chance that you can customize your domain with whatever the capacity you have. Go to domain setting, and here you see the option edit the domain site. Now what I'm gonna do, YouTube to do app, I want the same domain the way we keep it in our GitHub. So now if you click that YouTube to do app, see, https youtube to do app.netlify.app. Now our to do is running. So first of all, see how fast it can re-render. Remember what we're gonna do, I will just take one of my profile picture from my another file. Just I'm gonna grab it, and here I'm gonna paste that one in that HTML file. I'm gonna give that one, like instead of baby icon, what I'm gonna do, profile photo.png, that's the name. I'm gonna put that name for that one, and also instead any of the Apple devices is there, profile photo.png, and I'm gonna change the title YouTube, oh sorry, to do application. Let's save it. Now we save it here in locally. Now if we run in the local host, we can see the changes, but what about to see the changes in our direct file? How are we gonna do that? For doing that, we just need to, you see the git status, we change in the public folder index.js HTML file. So we will just simply git add everything and then git commit title and profile photo modified. You can put any comments you like, and now git push origin master. We're just pushing it. Now after pushing, if you just come over in our GitHub, it will just come instantly, I think so. If you refresh, see title and profile photo modified, and also in the I think in our side, see I think if we go back to our here, and it's building, because it's fetching the data from the GitHub, and then it's going through each and every single component. Wherever the changes is happen, it's gonna run through a map and it's gonna change that things, and it will appear over here after the changes had been done. So just give a couple of minutes. Now see, build completed and everything okay. If we save, YouTube to do application and the profile photo is changed. See how fast and how cool that is. Okay, so that's all for in today's video. So we'll see you in the next video with something very amazing and something very unique is coming through. Stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe the channel to get something more. Okay, all the best. See you in the next video.